Hi ladies, my name is Amy Lefotu. I am coming to you from around Seattle, Washington. I'm the daughter of Pastor Wayne Taylor and Kathy Taylor. My mom came out last year and spoke to this conference. Just raved about it, loved it so much, and loved being with you ladies. And I know me and my husband love your church. We came out last March and did music, Christian hip-hop music with you guys, and I would be there, but I am currently 38 weeks pregnant with our first baby. We are having a son named Timmy. I'm going to share a little bit about my story and how it relates to the theme of this conference, which is flourish and flourishing in our relationships with Christ. The underlying theme of my story will be tenderness. So kind of the first part, how tenderness plays in, was my heart staying tender towards the Lord. And so a little bit of background on me. I grew up in the church and always had a positive experience with that. I really felt like the church was my family. My dad was a pastor my whole life, and I grew up and I was a tomboy and I was a daddy's girl and I was really into sports. Cut my hair really short just like my brother, who was older than me, and just wanted to do everything that he did. I grew up and I played basketball, was kind of my main thing, my main passion. Ended up having a lot of success in that. Played in high school, played in college, and played professionally after college overseas, and just had a lot of success in that sport. And also during that time that I was really invested in that was a time where I began to struggle in same-sex attraction and same-sex relationships. So I ended up getting into my first same-sex relationship with one of my teammates when I was in high school. I was about 17 years old, and at the time just really overwhelmed and wondering what was going on because, you know, that had never happened to me before. But also kind of felt like it was natural and something that felt right or felt good, even though I was very confused by the feelings. So moving on from there, ended up having a relationship with a gal when I went to college, and kind of out of the house, out of my parents' authority, and found myself in a serious relationship with a girl, and, you know, really wondering if God had created me to be this way. I felt like my heart always stayed tender towards God, which I'm still grateful for, because at the time I did feel I felt the disturbance in my peace and in my spirit, and knew that my relationship with the Lord, it was growing further and further away. There was a little more distance, kind of the more that I went on. And so kind of those feelings of confusion, but also conviction. And I was extremely grateful because I felt like God's Spirit kept pulling me back and kept telling me, like, no, Amy, I think that this isn't God's plan for you. This isn't what He wants. And I always felt that. Even when I was in the thick of it, and even felt really happy in the relationship, I felt like, no, this wasn't God's ultimate plan for me here. He has something more for me. And so that just plays into God's tenderness and love towards me. You know, with my heart being tender towards Him, I could accept God's love towards me and God's grace and mercy towards me. And even in an area where, you know, I think today it's a really big topic, and it's something that people say, well, why would God create people to be gay? You know, why, or people are born gay, or, you know, there's just all these kind of topics going around this issue. And I just believe that, yeah, we may struggle with this, and I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, I don't need to have boundaries now that I'm married to a guy. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, God healed me and He made me straight. You know, it's not, to me, it's not really about that. It is about flourishing with Christ, and it is about our lives being surrendered and submitted to Him and His will. It's not about me and my feelings. I can have certain feelings, and I could still have those if I let my guard down and if I let myself be in those situations of temptation. But the bigger picture is God's relationship with me and how He wants us to glorify Him in our lives and not just be caught up in our own feelings about stuff. God brought this guy into my life who, for the first time, I felt like, wow, this is somebody who I would want to marry. You know, I'm attracted to him. He's so sweet. We connect. You know, all the stuff that kind of plays in to a relationship. But you know, it had just never happened for me before, and I even tricked myself thinking, oh, God may not have that for me, or I'll have to settle. It's never going to be maybe as good emotionally and all that stuff. Just everything that sin can steal from you in terms of God wanting to bless your life with His will. And so once I really surrendered that issue to the Lord, just came to Him as I was, knowing that I had just previously struggled, you know, He really blessed this relationship with Dan. And I remember sharing with him my testimony for the first time, and he was really shocked, actually, and it was really hard because I was his first girlfriend and his first kiss, and here I had like all these crazy stories, but God, you know, reconciled that. You know, I'm by no means where I would even want to be yet. I feel like the sky's the limit for where I could flourish with the Lord, where my walk with Him could go, because I've already seen it. Just in even doing music with my husband, having my own CD, you know, just leading a small group, speaking at a conference like this, you know, all this stuff that before I wouldn't have done, because you know what? Satan was trying to steal that away by just creating subtly and slowly but surely a distance between me and God. And it's not going to work. Not if we surrender to the Lord and see what Satan's trying to do, see what our flesh is trying to do. Just continue to have that soft, tender heart towards God, which will in turn lead to us trusting, obeying, and expecting Him for amazing things in our life, and to a life that is completely flourishing in Him. So, yeah, that pretty much sums up what I would like to share today, and I hope you guys are blessed by that. I hope that in your own lives that this is the case, and I just pray that after this conference you will see how God wants you to flourish. Thank you.